Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledging knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, brews, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
Welcome into the program, ladies and gentlemen. It is Topic Thunder. It's June 14th, 2023, the year of our Lord. And my name is Brooks. His name is Ben. And the name of the show is, in fact, Topic Thunder. And if you're new to the program, joining us on any of the various streaming and broadcasting networks and streams that we're on, we are only here to serve one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to feed topics into the Thunderdome, which we the Thunderdome is right here, folks. By the way, if you just this is the Thunderdome.
Yes,
that's the Thunderdome.
And I've had some people ask, some new viewers ask about how this works. If you're just new to this, you may be watching this on a number of different streams. We are on a number of different ways. We're out and about, right? You may be on Twitch. You may be on YouTube. You may be on a number of the different Facebook feeds that we also have out there, right? And if you're watching and you comment, you will may only see your comments in the comment section of that video. However, they will appear in the Thunderdome over here. They're all collected at one place. Yeah, right there. And so don't be afraid to comment thinking that your comment is not going to go, it's just going to go into oblivion because you don't see any other comments there, but you see people commenting on the screen. I wanted to point that out for maybe people that are sitting in the back not wanting to speak because they didn't know any better.
For sure. Our really neat broadcasting app, as the kids call it these days, kind of coalesces all of the messages from the various streams that we have. So yeah, absolutely. Right. If you type a comment, we will see it. Sometimes they roll through so fast because of the participants of the Thunderdome, which I already see a one VIP. Aunt Chris is in the house. And well, folks, if you're new to the show or just pulling up to the info bar, as we kind of call it, well, we don't start really a conversation without having ourselves a drink. And I think, Ben, we kind of have to work on this now. I think we should start calling this segment instead of drinks, because it's kind of like too, I don't know. How about opening shot?
What is it? Okay, all right. I just thought because headlines is so.
Well, this is true, and it just okay, absolutely. You know what? I just got trumped.
It's on theme. I'm just saying
that might be on theme too.
Yeah. Whoa,
that might be on theme too, but not in this moment. And folks, I think this is the first time in drinks history that we actually lead with a story. But just 2 hours ago,
it is worth pointing out.
Bud Light, the top U.S. seller since 2001, loses its sales crown to Modelo as the beer backlash continues. Well, folks, unbeknownst to us, and this was the AP story of today. The pretty lady Gigi and I, over the weekend on Saturday, decided to do tacos, margaritas, and Modelo. So I would like to posit a theory that because of my Modelo purchase on Saturday, we pushed it. I can't. I mean,
listen, I can't argue.
Nobody can. So. That my singular purchase of a cold ass 12-pack of Modelo at a Target on Peterson in Chicago, that was just the ultimate. Like, it's on Peterson. Go to the Target at Peterson.
Now, I guess we could talk about this story because I think it is significant in some sense, in that the boycott, if you will, has gained some traction. Now, you need proper perspective that Bud Light is still selling a shitload. Anheuser-Busch still makes a shitload of money. They own a number of different beers outside of Bud Light. Bud Light stepped outside their zone and tried to do something different with their top brand, right?
They're
And
just trying to advertise to.
there's a market. Transgender people and LGBTQ people
They
have
like
money
beer too.
Yeah, and so they were trying to market to them. Now there has been obviously enough backlash that knocks them out of the
Imagine
top
that.
spot. But what does that mean? The boycotters will take this as a victory. They see this as it's working, and all these different. One of my son's favorite cartoons. Oh wow! There's a
Dad
basket.
Evan Brooks with an insult and hello, brother Joe.
Yeah, Will Joe.
Into the program. Cheers to you too. Rice beer. It's rare when my dad throws insults, especially about beer. So, all right.
But it's on some level, the boycott is working. You have to acknowledge that it is significant. There is a significant number of people that are not drinking it, or actively choosing, or going out of their
blowing
way
up stockpiles of.
Yeah, and it's having its effect. So I mean, but this is America, right? And you could speak with your dollars, and so in that sense, I say this is kind of great to see. Now, it's not the way I would go about it. I don't agree with the reasoning for it, but it shows you the power of protesting with your dollars. It can have an effect.
It
has
does an effect, and that's why it is, like you said, powerful. There, nothing moves the needle more than the dollar, than spending, than corporate profits. We've learned this in this weird corporatocracy, theocracy, fascist, Christo, weird ass nation that we're obviously heading to. We cover it every week. And Ben, how do we cover it? We cover it with the most cleverly named segment of all time. Ladies and gentlemen, Topic Thunder brings to you headlines. It was my very most serious intro I could ever give to something like this. Oh, shit. What happened, like, in the last week?
I agree with Ryan Hansen, by the way. People shouldn't drink Bud Light.
It sucks.
Because it sucks. It's a garbage beer. It always has been.
It's a rice beer. It does. It kind of sucks.
Garbage beer.
Budweiser sucks. Gives you the shits. That's not a personal statement.
I agree.
It's just
horrible hangovers. It's terrible.
Just the king of beers. The king of kicking your ass.
Speaking of terrible.
Well, I guess we all know that Donald Trump was heading to many indictments, and that's not the surprise, right? The surprise is that hours after his arraignment, he had already raised $2 million.
Is that a surprise? That doesn't surprise me. No, not in the least, dude. His sycophant followers, remember, these are the same people that gave him millions of dollars to fight a stolen election that was clearly and obviously not stolen. He has grifted these people all along the way, whether it was NFTs. Remember when he was selling NFTs not that long ago? Yeah, I mean, the guy's a constant grifter.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Ben?
Trump steaks, Trump University.
I graduated.
Yeah.
And now I host the podcast.
No, you didn't. Nobody did, unfortunately.
Trump Airlines, Trump Casino.
The list goes on and on and on and on and on.
The biggest damnation of Trump as a business person you could ever give is that he bankrupted multiple casinos.
That's really hard to do.
Almost impossible to bankrupt a casino. especially
Yeah, you have to really work hard.
Kind of have to work hard at it.
Yeah, I mean, back on the story though, obviously raising money. I'm not terribly surprised by it at all. I think his followers are going to believe him, but I think there are less and less people now. That yes, that is a large amount of money, but I bet there's large chunks coming from very loyal sources, right? But I think he's got some. I think Chris Christie entering the fray. He has got an interesting perspective.
He's going in like he's not going into it like a candidate. For the two videos I've watched of Chris Christie, basically promoting himself as a candidate against Trump, he's approaching it like a fucking cold ass prosecutor, which he was in New Jersey, right?
Yeah,
like he eviscerated Jared and Ivanka.
Yes. And that one I shared about $2 billion from the Saudis.
You're 6 months out. He called them out about it. And what's interesting is, okay, so I watched it a couple times because those things to me are important because I'm watching Chris Christie's body language. He absolutely believes what he's saying and it looks like he's trying to deliver truth to people he knows have that like cult of personality sheen over them, right? That shield, right? If you watch that video and see the people in the crowd, half of them are like, the other half are like,
like what? Wait, what?
So
now?
who's?
Yeah.
And the one thing he didn't do, and I don't know if he's saving it for a debate or a story I wanted to lead with, but I didn't lead with, but I'm going to lead with now, is that you can look at the entire field of the GOP right now, right? None of these people are really going for the throat on this guy.
Christie is starting to
showing the way,
and I think he is providing a message to a group of moderates in both parties that understand what Trump is, right? And so, but he's got enough appeal and he's got enough of an in where he can at least get his foot in the door to those MAGA folks, right? And if the Trump thing totally falls apart, he could really gain some ground and really overtake DeSantis, because I'll tell you this, people around me here in Texas, Republicans, hardcore Republicans, I started hearing his name a couple of weeks ago from these people. And that before I started seeing videos of him out and they were saying, Chris Christie seems like an interesting guy to me. He's got conservative ideals, but he's not crazy like Trump and is actually willing to call out Trump's bullshit. And there is a segment of the Republican Party and the Republican followers that like that. And so I think Chris Christie weirdly has an outside chance here. If he can really take the momentum that he is seemingly starting to build up a little bit, it would not surprise me to see him really challenge DeSantis for that number 2 spot. And if the Trump thing completely falls apart because he's too busy getting indicted again and again, it becomes really interesting. Christie and DeSantis
on the debate stage.
Very interesting on the debate stage and everything. Very interesting because Christie won't be afraid, I don't think, to call out the fascist nature and the MAGA nature of DeSantis and his recent laws and the way he's gone after Disney and things like that. And
DeSantis has proven that he has some naval officer, but he's a prosecutor. He's a lawyer. He's a lawyer by trade, right? So he was a naval prosecutor, but he also shows a little social autism. Can I say that? Is that appropriate to say? He does weird shit in public. And we've never really seen Ron DeSantis on a national debate stage. And if he's not ready, if he's used to having closed hearings like they had in Guantanamo, and you have a not only a former governor who's used to the public circle, a former Republican candidate, and a former prosecutor in New Jersey, which got its fair share of criminal prosecutions thanks to right?
Sure. Right. New Jersey's kind of
A
known for its
little
crime,
bit.
right?
Look, let's just hey,
Yeah.
Sopranos was meant in New Jersey, not New York, right? So
Yeah.
it would be crushing to see that, which would be hugely entertaining. The going for the throat thing I was mentioning is that like tying that 2 billion to the Saudis to 9/11.
Yes. Then taking the next
That
step.
is where if you really wanted to get into it, like if you really wanted to go for the throat, there's the tie-in. Tie that in.
Good point.
Tie that in.
Because here's it's timely that you mentioned that, because in the sports world, you may or may not have heard, Live Golf and the PGA Tour combined after a very short period of time. Live Golf is backed by the Saudi
Is the
government. It's
Saudi
part
government.
of kind of the yeah. It's sport. It's part of the sports washing of the Saudi kingdom, and the families of 9/11. I guess the families of 9/11 survivors, or I don't know how to put this, but the group that represents the families of
that
people that
passed away,
passed
or
away
murdered.
in 9/11. There you go. They were very loud and putting out statements when it comes to Live Golf and the PGA Tour for doing business with the Saudis. But you don't see that same energy. You don't see those same messages, and you don't see that same blowback for the fact that when you talk about the fact that Donald Trump sold billions of dollars worth of weapons to the Saudi government, and that his kids were paid billions of dollars by the Saudi government, and that the government continues to do business even after Trump with the Saudi government. And there's nobody. It's like a blind spot everyone has, but it's out in the open, and no one seems to want to like address the fact that our government is co-signing the Saudi government.
It was $110 billion worth of weapons to Saudi Arabia. So I don't want to hear any shit when people talk about Ukraine and Slava Ukraine and Herium Slava, because it's a touchy time for that situation right now, and I've avoided it, to be honest with you, because side story, the fog of war has kind of covered what's going on over there, truly, and I'm having a hard time like finding out like what I honestly feel is the truth to bring it to everybody. So just to let you know, we won't say the R word on the show today, to be honest with you. Just be honest with you. So back to this, like being able to absolutely, and you know what, let's go for it, because part of the show today, I kind of wanted to do some follow-ups, right? So last week we led with the terrible air conditions, air quality conditions in New York and in New York.
Yeah, right? All those wildfires.
I wanted to show the response. This is over 200 South African firefighters that landed in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to assist in the fight against these and the singing. Can you just pause it really quick, Ben?
Sure.
I want to point out one thing that I noticed from my trained musical ear, that there are two distinct lyrics going on here, right? And there's two distinct melodies being sung. And what I've depicted, the only way that all of these people know, I don't know if this is, I don't know this. The only way that this could be trained is that if it was done by male and female. So I want everybody who's listening, maybe got your headphones on, whatever, but focus in, because you can hear distinctly that the males are kind of doing the bass, the treble clef, and the females are doing kind of like, actually the men are doing the bass clef and the females are doing. Never mind. Hey, listen to this.
You're speaking a different language to me, man.
It's a language of music, Pen. It's awesome.
That is really cool.
They're there to help, right? They landed.
That's
It
so
could
cool.
be Peter Gabriel's like, yeah, well, yeah, right? So that was a follow-up to a story we did. And honestly, Biz, thanks obviously for obviously joining the show as always. It's beautiful, right? And just I can think about the harmonization there that some group, half of that group was trained to sing in one key and one line, and the other was
And they're firefighters. They're not even like trained singers. They're not like a musical
right.
group.
So that's what again, I don't have, I didn't read too much into the story. I don't know. I didn't translations. That could have been their national anthem, which is even awesomer. Like they're landing, they're singing praise, like, but over 200 of them came to help those horrible wildfires that are just still raging out of control up in our friends up north.
Biz should definitely make a beat out of it. And if you do, Biz, send the file our way. We'll definitely play
absolutely.
it here. So that's we'll use it. We'll tie it in somehow. We'll figure out a way to use it as part of the show.
We'll come up with a charity segment. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, more follow-up
so
videos.
We on these very airwaves, we brought to you stories of orcas attacking people on boats. There's more detailed information. So the story goes, an orca swimming too close to a boat got injured by the rudder of the boat. Got a deep cut on it, right?
Okay.
This was apparently the turning point that spurned all of these attacks. First, the orcas started just attacking the boats and overturning them, right?
Yeah.
Now they are legitimately, specifically attacking the rudders and ripping off propellers and ripping off rudders as if this injured orca, yes, Joe, vengeance. This injured orca said, hey guys, you see those things right there? That's what really fucked me up right now, and I'm probably gonna die because I'm gonna bleed out and I'm gonna get eaten by sharks. And by a law of nature, you guys are just gonna abandon me to save yourselves.
What I heard, this was all started by one female orca, started doing it and like started basically teaching this other pod, this entire pod of female orcas how to fucking capsize, and then it's now led to ripping the rudders off these fucking boats. It's incredible, man. They are adapting and evolving very, very quickly. These orcas, it's astounding.
Really. Surgical. Like,
yeah. I mean, remember they're killing great white sharks and surgically removing their livers.
It's a delicacy. Yeah. Like, what are you having tonight, George? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like liver. Let's go. Thanks to our orca friends.
Crazy. Orcas are outrageous. Once again, another reason to never go in the water.
Never be in an uncontrolled situation in the water. We, in the immortal words of Bobby the Brain Heenan, we're broadcast journalists. We got the broadcasting part down, right? Because here you are.
Sure, you definitely.
What does it mean to be a journalist, though, especially in these times?
In these times, it's not the same as it was.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Ben Collins. There have been plenty of stories that he's put out there and retweeted and actually reported himself that we've actually covered on these hallowed airwaves. He was the 2023 recipient of the Walter Cronkite Award. He had some very poignant things to say to his colleagues while receiving the award. This was his acceptance speech to his fellow journalists.
I just want to say the truth is a fragile thing. It's a particularly difficult time for the truth to be quite so fragile. Whether we like it or not, we are in the middle of an information war. People with a lot of money and power are actively trying to kill the truth right now, as we speak. They believe that spread of visions will go unnoticed. Some of them are trying to run a parallel ground war. Some of them are trying to sell cars. And so far, the plan has worked. A lot of people in charge of news organizations are, for one reason or another, refusing to accept this reality. Or they're learning it the hard way over the time. But I'm here to tell you right now, splitting the difference halfway between the lies pushed by powerful people and the truth leaves you telling half of the truth. As journalists, we are not in that business. We are stewards of the truth, and it needs our help right now. It is not our role to simply find the truth and deposit it on the street and expect it to survive. It needs someone to fight for it. It needs us to fight for it. There are some very brave and decent people in this room. Like, it's unbelievable, actually, hearing your stories. And I realize this is an uncomfortable question. But the next time you're in an editorial meeting, someone asks you to couch the truth with a lie pushed by a powerful person, what will you do? Will you help that liar, or will you fight? I hope you will fight. Thank you.
That's a hell of a message.
Fuck yeah. Now, my only complaint about that is there weren't enough people in that room.
Yeah, unfortunately.
For what is actually a prestigious award for journalism, there weren't enough people in that room, and that's the kind of sorry state journalism is, not only here in the States but abroad. So, in true topic Thunder fashion, we try to bring you our facsimile of journalism. It kind of starts with the Ellie. I haven't seen Courtney, but
yeah, she is. I haven't seen her in the comments either.
If this doesn't scare you folks, well, I don't know what does. From our good friends at The Guardian, synthetic human embryos created in groundbreaking advance. The exclusive breakthrough could aid research into genetic disorders, but raises serious ethical and legal issues. Folks, scientists have created synthetic human embryos using stem cells in a groundbreaking advance that sidesteps the need for eggs or sperm. Scientists say these model embryos, which resemble those in the earliest stages of human development, could provide a crucial window on the impact of genetic disorders and the biological causes of recurrent miscarriage. However, the work also raises serious ethical, legal issues. Gee, what could those be? Folks, and you can read the story yourself from our friends, The Guardian, but they legitimately are able to synthetically create a human being.
Okay. I mean, I guess that in the wrong hands, that could be, that's not great technology to just have fall into the wrong hands. But I could also see the benefits of this type of technology.
Okay,
it's not so scary.
So let's go through this, right? For the benefits of humanity, what do you see beneficial?
I think that the idea of people that have trouble conceiving children in a quote unquote natural way and really want to be parents, but this is another avenue possibly for them to become parents on some level. Yes, there are other options. Sailor Dave in the house, by the way.
Sailor Dave. I would say that those people adopt.
Yes, there are other options. Yes, but if this technology is available, I can also see using it.
So yeah, or I'm gonna play the devil's advocate.
This is what we do here, right? Yeah.
So you and I, Ben, are in a very heated and loving relationship.
We're not.
We are. For the purposes of this conversation, we are, and we want to have a child together, right?
Yes.
So we're going to walk into this wonderful embryo creation facility, and I don't know if you ever gone to a flower shop where they just put a book of possible bouquets in front of you.
Right. And you just pick your kid. Yes.
Do you want, and it ranges from, do you want long toes? Do you want short toes? Do you want blue eyes, green eyes, red eyes? Do you want red hair?
Right.
You want big chest? And we get to the
a
point,
made-to-order kid. What's wrong with that?
We get to the point we are now legitimately using a creative character from your favorite sports game, RPG, whatever video game that you like, that you're able to just absolutely customize a character. Is that ethical? In the idea that, and now, is that, like, honestly, is that really?
It feels to me like it's a god. It's one of those religious questions. It seems rooted in some sort of religion, ethics, morality. Like, whose ethics, whose morality? Like, you're just.
Is that a human being, Ben?
But yeah, of course it's a human
Do they
being.
have a soul?
Do any of us?
Well, I mean, it. All I'm asking is, like, the idea as we know it. Although we've had recently a couple stories with an alligator having virgin birth.
Yeah, I think there's another animal in a zoo that just a monkey, I believe, a monkey species.
That this is not unheard of. Asexual reproduction is absolutely a known quantity in the animal kingdom. It's just relatively unheard of with mammals and Homo sapiens, especially. Right? We've always been told that it takes sperm and an egg to create a fertile embryo.
But that's just because that's what we knew at that point. Science, we hadn't evolved as a species, and our understanding of science, that's the best we had at that point. I would say this: if that child is cared for and loved and educated and treated like a human being should be treated, and they're not in any sort of pain, they're not it doesn't shorten their life, it doesn't give them some horrible disease, or something along those lines, and they just get to be a human being that gets to live out their life. I don't see the downside.
I think Biz kind of touched on and
yes, well,
there's the downside here, right?
I would say you could build an army. I'm okay with that. If we are building people to put them into military service, and we don't have to take people that don't want to necessarily participate and make them participate, I don't know that I'm totally opposed to that idea.
What separates the people that you created versus the people that enlist?
Because you created those people for that purpose.
So they don't have a soul, or
no? I don't know.
I don't mean soul.
I don't know that a soul,
a religious, like you go to heaven, but I mean, like,
no, but like
what makes their life less valuable? Like, we built you to die.
Yes, if that spares quote unquote human life,
robots at that point, like, you get the robots out there.
I guess, but if it's cheaper and easier to just build embryos and you build these people.
Let's bring it to sports. I'm going to build the perfect hockey player. My wife and I, Gigi and I, have.
Sailor Dave brings up a good point too.
That we want to have. We don't want kids, but we want to be the proud parents of the world's greatest hockey player ever. We are going to combine the like G.I. Joe's Serpentor. We are going to combine the DNA of Paul Coffey, Ray Bork, Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Steve Yzerman, and into one human being, and they are going to be the greatest ever. I mean, where does it stop? There are certain applications, because now space exploration specifically in this, in my thoughts, this would be very useful in being able to extend missions beyond the lifespan of a human being, not necessarily the technology the human beings are on, right? But still, if you can replicate, okay, so Neil Armstrong, let's just take the blueprint for, like, the prototypical, like, space explorer, right?
Everyone is freaking out. Like, I'm so okay with this.
Build everyone. This is great, right? But, like, what if we made, like, the James T. Kirk of astronauts, and we're like, you know what? We're gonna put you on a spaceship, and with the ability to replicate you every 60 years once the last model goes, and you're just gonna set up. You're just
I
gonna
think they're
explore.
a different species. I'm sitting here thinking about this.
They're
a different species.
right?
They're not the same species.
They're
So
not.
while they could coexist with us, they could not play sports with us. They couldn't.
Could they?
They
Could they
would. I don't know
Could they
that.
have
So I
sex?
think
Could
there would
they
have to be a line drawn, and
reproduce
that
with
they're not
us?
the same species because we wouldn't play sports. We wouldn't let a cheetah enter a sports a track and field competition.
What? Who wins when a team? Let's just when a team of Shohei Ohtani's is playing a team of Shohei Ohtani's. Who wins?
Right.
Now you're just legitimately dealing with random chance.
I think there are different species, but I also think that it's okay to create that other species. Yes, it's weird. Yes, it's playing God, all those things, but why not? If it's possible, why not? What like if you could build an army, I think that would be no, you wouldn't segregate them, but they just wouldn't be able to they wouldn't be able to play. They would live next to us. They would live with us. You would raise them as your children, but they would be a different species.
Clone rights are human rights. They really are.
Sure, right? I guess we get to that discussion too.
It gets to like that.
Create a new league for these other species of people. There you go.
But so then there's going to be the argument because so that's the Negro League argument.
Who tells the sentient being they don't count? I get that. We do.
What's the difference?
Because we're the top of the goddamn food chain.
You think we are?
Maybe, unless we're not, and then they are, and so
life finds a way,
dude.
right? There's
Yeah.
always there's always a bigger fish, Ben.
Listen, a mile high block of ice could fall on top of the planet at any moment. So anything's possible.
This is a fantastic conversation, and I think something that we'll kind of keep paying attention to as things kind of progress. Fascinating technology, right? There's benefits, there's horrors, and I think obviously it makes for a good conversation, but it also brings up a lot of ethical things that we don't usually discuss at work, right? Or at home, right?
Sure.
So
I've always been a big fan of discussing things that you shouldn't discuss at parties. So
the right parties. I don't want to talk to you while I'm tripping on beep and on a beep beep beep, that kind of stuff. Yes, we have editors that I just got beep. I didn't make that beep, so myself. Taking the next story a little bit closer to home.
Sure.
We celebrate Poland and all the great things that the Polish people have accomplished and the Polish kingdom has across the centuries. Polish here. So and I happen to know the people that run the podcast. So however, we are able to discuss and express our disappointment in the current government of the Polish people right now. And it is a very scary government, to be honest with you, kind of authoritarian leaning, to be very frank with you. While laud the Polish people's taking in over 6 million refugees from Ukraine, probably providing the most equipment, training, and special force underground to Ukraine, we'll also call them out on their very strict abortion laws that led to the death of a young woman in Poland that brought people to the streets. And folks, when you get the Polish people to take the streets, better listen, because they'd rather be cooking and eating pierogies. Trust me, I've been there.
How can a doctor refuse to perform an abortion when a woman's life is at risk? Doesn't that go against the oath that they take or something?
Because their jobs and their profession, their license is probably on the line thanks to the law.
Wow.
And yes, so we're not talking about the R word, Ryan.
Yeah,
we're
leaving them alone this week.
We're leaving them alone. We're not kicking that dog right now. Please don't trigger my please don't trigger me. Mr. Hanson. We do have to call them out because this poor woman should honestly be alive right now because neither now the woman nor the baby are
Yeah, I mean,
alive.
your religious beliefs should have nothing to do with someone's medical care. You don't get into the medical field if you are going to let your religious beliefs affect your duty to help someone in medical need. Like I don't understand that, man.
As Gigi points out, it is now happening in this country too.
I
So
know it's fucking
uh,
disgusting, man. Like you cannot get in this profession. You shouldn't be allowed. And if but how do you, but then you have obviously have less doctors. We already don't have enough people in the profession to begin with on some levels. So
trust when I say there's not enough healthcare workers in healthcare right
yeah.
now.
So if you disallowed people because they expressed that their religion would possibly interfere with their job, you'd lose a lot of people that are currently on the job, and you'd lose a ton of candidates for the job. But like, what is wrong with those fucking people? What is wrong with you? Like,
It
how dare you let your religious beliefs and it's such a sham to use religion. It's a shitty shield that isn't based in any actual truth of what your religion says. Like everything about Jesus Christ and his apparent teachings in this book, if you just read the book on any level, it's helping people, the sick, the poor, the downtrodden, the people that need help and support. You help and support those people. That's the religion. And constantly we're seeing people that claim religion and hide behind this shield of religion to be bigoted and prejudiced and that's okay. That's one thing to be bigoted and prejudiced to a group of people, but to deny people health care, deny people a procedure that would save their life and maybe save their unborn child's life because of your religious beliefs. I mean, how fucking dare you? How fucking dare you? It's gross on so many levels.
So Dave asked a question, and I want to respond to what this specific situation, what this happened. This is also from the AP. This happened on June 12th. Don't know why I said it like that, but I said it like that. Polish health authorities said Monday there was a violation of a patient rights in a case of a woman who died of sepsis in the 5th month of pregnancy last month, a case that has gained scrutiny after the tightening of Poland's already restrictive abortion law. Poland's health minister, Adam Niedzielski, also stressed that every woman whose life or health is threatened by pregnancy has the right to an abortion. He announced that he was appointing a team to examine the country's guidelines on termination of pregnancy and said its members would include women. How novel. In Poland, every woman in the event of threat to health or life has the right to terminate a pregnancy, he said. However, Dorota Latik, she was 33, died on May 24th in a hospital in a town in the conservative region of Poland. She arrived at the hospital after her water broke 5 months of pregnancy. Her water broke and was told to lie with her legs up. She died of sepsis 3 days later. The ombudsman for patient rights, who I'm not even going to try to say that, it was called Bartholomew, said that the hospital had violated the patient's rights. A lawyer for the family said that on TV that the woman was told her chances of maintaining the pregnancy were minimal and that she risked her life by not terminating pregnancy. She said it was a medical malpractice case. It is a case of woman of a dying in a hospital tried to maintain the pregnancy due to a fetal heartbeat. So it was too late for both the fetus and the woman to survive. So they literally told her, lie with your legs up. And 3 days later, she died.
So she got so what they're saying is she got bad medical advice.
terrible.
Not that it was because of the abortion law. She just that it sounds to me like that's what that quote was. They were kind of putting it on the doctor. They're saying this is a malpractice issue rather than something wrong with the abortion law.
The article goes on to say that under current law, women still have the right to an abortion in cases where their where their life or health is threatened. However, women's rights advocates warn that doctors are putting women's lives at risk as they prioritize saving pregnancies over women, either for ideological or legal consequence reasons.
Whoa, okay, whoa, that's a whole nother layer. So they're saying that these doctors are prioritizing the child's life over the mother's life
What kind of life does a 5-month-old fetus have?
without its mother, yeah. Or anything, or without any, yeah, none much of any. Yeah.
Not to gross anybody out, but we do fetal autopsies at where I work, and we take x-rays of 5-month-old fetuses. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. I wish I was. That's not something that's viable with life. Trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say that. 5 months old is not worth saving over the life of a 33-year-old woman who could have another child.
Yeah, that's absurd.
If you're worried about like having a child,
infuriating.
The life of a fertile 30, let's just be scientific about it. A fertile 33-year-old woman is more valuable than a unviable 5-month-old thing. And that's what it looks like.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Sailor Dave. You know, the almighty, the mighty dollar is ultimately the enemy in all of this. It's just so gross.
Did you just say the almighty dollar?
Yes, which is a great segue
into this next story from the dreaded CNN.
Dun dun dun.
Paul McCartney says the final Beatles song is coming thanks to artificial intelligence.
See, this is where we're headed.
We've talked about the horrors of artificial intelligence, and here we are.
More Beatles songs. Shit.
When it comes to artificial intelligence, Sir Paul McCartney doesn't sound like he's willing to just let it be.
Hey!
In an interview with BBC's Radio 4 Today program released Tuesday, the legendary musician and former Beatle, why are they two separate things? Anyway, was asked about AI and how it's been used to make his voice sound younger and to resurrect the voices of fellow band members John Lennon and George Harrison, who died in 1980 and 2001.
Yeah, they're using AI to recreate John Lennon's voice and have him sing
I just want
to
he is a whore.
Yes, he is.
Quick pause here. Here's been in this entire article, there is no mention of Ringo Starr, who is also a surviving member of the Beatles.
Still alive, yes.
Alive. Ringo lives.
Not in anybody's mind. That's such a weird... The way the world has treated Ringo Starr is very odd, no?
Oh, Ringo Starr is the producer of one of the greatest gifts to the internet of all time.
Yes.
And that
peace and love.
That is his video where he's begging people not to send him stuff to sign anymore.
Oh God, I gotta find it now.
If you please do while I read this. This is a quote from Sir Paul McCartney. When we came to make what will be the last Beatles record, it was a demo that John had that we worked on, and we just finished it up. And it will be released this year. And we were able to take John's voice and get it pure through this AI. So then we were able to mix the record as you normally do. There's nothing normal about this, Sir Paul. While McCartney is not on the internet much, he said he's aware of AI being used to do things like a Lennon sing a song, which he said is kind of scary. Quote, it's something we're all sort of tackling at the moment and we're trying to deal with.
trying to do. We're tackling and trying. What do you mean? Like
Wait,
you
so
either
on
are
one
in
hand,
or
you're saying
not.
it's a problem. On the other hand, you're saying, hey, here's something for you folks to buy that we use this terrible thing that you should be concerned with. On the other hand,
You should be concerned with it, but I've got a limited amount of time on Earth, and I got to get them dollar bills, y'all.
yeah, for some reason, I need more money.
Was this Yoko's idea?
Yeah.
All right, here's that Ringo Starr
It's the
video.
greatest ever.
This is a serious message to everybody watching my
What's up?
No,
Did I-
I'm
sorry.
update right now. Peace and love, peace and love. I want to tell you, please, after the 20th of October, do not send fan mail to any address
Don't do it.
that you have. Nothing will be signed after the 20th
Nothing.
of October.
Don't even bother.
If that has a date
20th.
on the envelope, it's going to be tossed.
Sorry.
I'm warning
It means
you
into
with
the
peace and
garbage.
love, but I have too much to do. So
Too
no
much
more
to do.
fan mail. Thank you, and no objects to be signed. Nothing.
Objects.
Anyway, peace and love, peace and love.
Objects. I sent him in the same package. I sent Ringo the Mother Mary and a dildo sign. That was from my mother and my mother-in-law. I'll leave you to figure out who's getting what.
Oh my god. That is the greatest video, one of the greatest videos ever. But it's so great. He's like, I love all of you, thank you, but I'm done with your
He's like,
bullshit.
Fuck off.
Fuck
already.
off. Stop sending me your shit to sign. I'm not doing it. As a matter of fact, I'm not even looking at it. If it's post dated after this date, I'm just throwing it in the trash.
It's the
letting
best.
you
because
know.
It's the best because it's total old man. It start like
Yes.
the way it starts. This is a very serious message. Like, oh shit, Ringo, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you about to tell us, Ringo?
Whoa,
Is Paul dead? Is Paul dead? What?
Wait, what is he? Is John still alive? Was it joke? Like, is fucking you have proof Yoko is a fucking vampire? What's going on? I'm warning you with peace and love. Well, what does that fucking mean?
Warning you.
Warning me with peace and love? Now,
You can't
nothing
those are two
sacred?
mutually exclusive things. Yeah.
I'm not going to sign any objects. What? I sent Ringo my ashtray to send.
After October 21st, I am not signing anything.
Really, seriously,
Nothing.
you probably look, you get this stamped by the post office. October 19th, it's good. October 20th, destroy it.
Don't send it.
Burn
Peace and
it.
love.
It's the greatest gift.
Oh, man,
the
so
Beatles
good.
have ever given. It's better than any single Beatles song. Fight me,
Oh, I totally agree.
fight
Yes.
me. And I like. The
I'll
Beatles,
fight
right?
anybody on the Beatles. The Beatles are highly overrated. They're just first. That's all.
Weirdly, yes, they had to happen. It just happened to be those
but
guys.
But music evolved past and better and became better than the Beatles. Yes. I'll stand by that. I'll go to my grave believing that.
Speaking of the Beatles, dead
Speaking of
woman
not breathing.
found breathing in the coffin.
What?
This was actually sent in to the office by Dad F. M. Brooks, VIP, in the Thunderdome right now. This is from our good friends at the BBC. Mourners at the wake of an Ecuadorian woman were startled to discover she was still alive.
Oh my God.
A hospital doctor in the city of Babahoyo declared Bella Montoya, 76, dead of a suspected stroke. She was placed in a coffin and taken to a funeral parlor where relatives held a vigil before her planned burial. When, after almost 5 hours, they opened the coffin to change her clothes ahead of the funeral, and a woman gasped for air.
They move pretty quickly down there on this whole getting to the funeral thing.
That is
Like,
a very fast thing.
She died, and like within 6 hours, they're holding the funeral. Like, damn, that's efficient.
Very efficient. That moves fast. My mom started to move her left hand to open her eyes, her mouth. She struggled to breathe. Her son, Gilbert, described the moment he realized his mother was still alive.
God dang, that is ridiculous.
A video taken by a mourner shows her lying in an open coffin, struggling to breathe, while another complains that an ambulance that they called has not yet arrived. Minutes later, firefighters arrive and lift Bella Montoya onto a stretcher and take her back to the hospital where she had been declared dead.
Right, because taking her out of the hospital
Look.
and putting her in a coffin was probably what ended up actually killing her.
Working in a hospital, I will tell you right now, that could possibly be the most bizarre thing anybody could present to that situation. From the get-go, from registration. All right, who you bring? What's the patient's name? Oh, it's Bella Montoya. And according to our record, she's expired.
Already dead. Yeah. Why are you bringing her back?
Closed out her account. Like we need to create a whole new account number for her, a record number for her. Like what?
Yeah.
Mom is on oxygen and her heart is stable.
Imagine if she wanted to be cremated. She would have been put into the crematorium like alive. Imagine how awful that would have been.
Imagine if you had competent medical care that, I don't know, used a
stethoscope
to detect your heart was still beating.
Yeah. You know that advanced medicine, that advanced medical tool known as a stethoscope.
Yeah, right. The thing that just kind of makes the heart sound better. And look, if it gets to the point where the coroner and whatever the funeral parlor people do to dress up the body inside the casket haven't already figured out this woman's still alive, this is a failure on multiple fronts, ladies and gentlemen. And well, what would you do? What would you do if all of a sudden Mom's
You'd
alive?
freak out, but then of course, like, what are you gonna do? Like, she's gonna be dead soon if she's not dead at that point.
Oof. All right. Welcome to the.
Well, I mean, just like this. No, I'm just saying, like, in this woman's case, like, it was obvious she was near death anyway, but like, there was no. Maybe there was some saving her, but I don't know.
Oh, a video Cora reference. Holy shit! All right, now we're really throwing it back. Hey, let's continue to move with this momentum. Well, it's not often that I get to brag about the use of X-rays for folks, but hey, because of the use of X-rays, we were able to see the first ever picture of an atom, a singular atom. That's what it looks like. It might not look like much, and you're thinking, well, what the fuck is that blurry thing? It could be anything, and you're right.
You're right, yeah.
It's weird era.
It looks like a child's chew toy, or a dog chew toy.
Dog chew toy for sure, right?
Very
like,
blurry.
Fiona's gonna love it. She's gonna tear it apart. She's gonna love it. But it was courtesy of our friends here at the University of Illinois at Chicago that legitimately X-rayed an atom for the first time. Now, being somewhat knowledgeable about X-rays, I can tell you that it is very, very, very difficult to focus. And X-rays are the second most powerful form of energy in the entire universe. And I'm not like
yeah,
I'm slinging rays. Like gamma rays are the first, and the only difference between the gamma ray and the X-ray, or where they originate, gamma rays form in nucleus of an atom, and X-rays form in the electron cloud. There are a ton of physics behind this, but like, we are legitimately talking about the ability to use nature's second most powerful energy to visualize one of the most basic elements and fundamental building blocks of all matter, not life. Matter. Atoms of material build rocks are in the air that we breathe, that are build every single that we matter. We have to make that distinction between life and matter, because the rock's not alive as far as we know, but it's filled with matter, and that is a picture of an atom. Nucleus, right? Proton, neutron in the center forming a nucleus. The electron zipping around, and 2 or 3 places at the same fucking time, because electrons are insanely mysterious. They okay, everybody imagines what the old school visualization of what an atom is, right? Like a bunch of things in the set, a bunch of set, and like weird like lines and balls attached. That is not what an atom looks like.
Okay. Well, the American education system doing us a solid again.
And again, this is as technology improves and we learn more. Education's never done, right? It never ends.
Good point. Fair
right?
point.
So, and atom, the electrons are very mysterious. That they defy physics, and the fact that they're never in the same place at the same time. They legitimately can appear in multiple places in the electron, what they call cloud, because they move faster than the speed of light, and it's an uncanny phenomenon in physics. They still can't figure out how that electron can be in multiple places at the same time. And incidentally, it takes enough energy to knock one of those electrons out of orbit to create an X-ray, which in medical terms is tens of thousands of kilowatts of electricity to generate a single X-ray. I'm nerding out here, but
yeah, no, for sure, that's cool.
It is just one more thing, like where science is awesome, and we can't like slow down on the study and the pursuit of science and the education of science, because we don't know it all. We don't.
No, yeah, that's it goes back to the discussions that we were having back during COVID, that information that was out early, could, as time goes on, look to be false information, or but you don't know that at the time,
right? It is Schrodinger's cat a little bit, because it's there. Is it there? But it's not there. But is it there? Do we have evidence of it? But the evidence is also a lack of evidence, and the lack of evidence is also evidence.
Woo, science!
Welcome to Topic Thunder, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I know we're kind of running short. We're running up against the wall and the storm cloud that is the lightning round. But we've mentioned the skeleton, at least the oldest known ancestor skeleton that we have. Some 40% of Lucy, our 3.2 million year old relative. And they've actually built some muscular structure around, thanks to our 3D algorithms, of what Lucy would look like with her, full skeleton intact and muscular stature. It's really interesting if you scroll down too, Ben, because they do some comparisons. I don't know if we're getting that deep, and we certainly like to jump around quite a bit, Lisa. So hang on if you're new to Topic Thunder, strap on. The lateral and dorsal, ventral, medial views. If you keep scrolling, the musculature. The difference between what you're seeing on the left being the model of Lucy, and on the right of those picture sets being what human musculature.
Oh wow, that's a tremendously larger amount. Yes.
Of not only muscles, and I think Lucy was about 4 foot tall. So we're talking about a completely different skeletal structure. And I want to point out, because I'm a total geek, if you scroll down, Ben, to the medial view on the right-hand side, the two pictures, I want to focus on the pelvis. I want to show you, look at the orientation of the pelvis on Lucy, which Ben is circling right now, versus what an upright human being just to the right of that looks like. And think about how what we consider to be a primate kind of ambulates right now, moves, the way they're bent at the hips. Look at the way their pelvis is set for it's almost like they're doing a squat, but they're upright.
Yeah.
Right? And versus what an upright human being, which you would assume would be a healthy specimen, would look like too. Again, being a geek and an X-ray tech and into bone structure and all that stuff, I found that striking. The difference. Look at that butt. Lucy had some booty.
Badonk-a-donk.
Yeah, like she had it back in the day, right? Prehistoric Lucy was swinging it back out in the day. I think Ben, I don't know. I think actually two things. We
Okay.
need a palate cleanse,
Yes.
and then we need to listen to the heralds of the storm. Right. So let's just jump to that last link I sent you for our palate cleanse.
Oh boy. Yes.
I know, right?
Oh
You
man.
can't get enough of this. I will always oversaturate you guys with the cute.
Hold on. Yeah, this guy fucking
Look at
here.
Look
This
at that.
fucking guy. Look at this fucking guy. Oh Jesus.
Climbing purposes, obviously, too.
Say again.
Oh, I was just talking about Lisa's comment about the way the musculature was set up for four-limb movement versus two-limb being a bipedal versus a quad. Back to she's due to the delay because we have that 7-second delay because we got that we can't have you all swearing. That's an old school radio joke that only geeks like Ben and I would really, really freak out about.
Indeed. But I want to say back on topic. I want to spray a baby bear with a water hose.
I want you to pay attention to what happens when that baby bear starts to approach the person with that spray bottle on.
Yeah, they get the hell out of the fucking
They
way.
start moving out of the way. Like, it's not so cute anymore.
Although I would fight that baby bear. That baby, I feel like I could take that bear.
It's just so stinking cute.
Right, I feel like I could just tackle him and just
Look at him, he's enjoying him and herself, themselves so much. Legs in the air, bare necessities. It's the bare necessities. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, my singing brings in the lightning, the thunder, and actually it evacuates auditoriums and karaoke bars alike. There it is. If you hear it, ladies and gentlemen, that is the oh so convenient theme of my dad's favorite segment of the podcast. It's called the lightning round, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, Sailor Dave is going to get to participate, and Joey is going to get to participate. I don't know if they've ever participated in the lightning round before.
This is what we do on Top
Virgins,
of the
if you will.
We bring people together.
Lisa and Chase Cunningham, you are also. We invite you.
Welcome
to pop your cherry, if you will.
Yeah, newcomers to the lightning round. Let me explain really quick if you're not familiar. What we do here is we read three headlines. Three headlines enter the world's most dangerous chat zone. That's the Thunderdome.
Right.
We don't need another hero. Boom. Right? That kind of Thunderdome. Three stories enter, one gets read. And ladies and gentlemen, that one story that gets read is chosen by you, the people. So without any more dilly or dally, ladies and gentlemen, your lightning round for this June 14th, 2023, the year of our Lord. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Headline number 1. Florida man ditches ankle monitor and jumps out of apartment window during SWAT negotiations.
Florida man, always making a great appearance.
Will always make an appearance.
Yes.
Headline number 2. Thieves steal cart vehicles from NASCAR street race site in Chicago.
Okay.
And headline number 3. Connecticut couple allege state is illegally filming their property by attaching cameras to wandering bear.
That's a level of paranoia I'm not sure I can fully comprehend.
Folks, so what we do with the lightning round is I understand we just leveled you guys with a whole bunch of weirdness.
Right. Like, what the fuck did I just hear? So we'll give you one more chance to hear it again and absorb it and decide.
I'll try to speak even slower. But put that in your Bozo computer and then vote in the world's most dangerous
give us
chat
1,
zone.
2, or
Which
3 in the
want to
comments. Right over there.
Here we go with headline number 1. Florida man ditches ankle monitor and jumps out of apartment window during SWAT negotiations.
It's a hell of a headline, even if the story's not great.
There's a lot, right?
Yeah.
But we've been fooled before by stories, especially with Florida men.
Yes.
You can't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
Headline number 2: thieves steal cart vehicles from NASCAR street race site in Chicago. And headline number 3: Connecticut couple allege state is illegally filming their property by attaching cameras to wandering bear.
Alternate headlines supplied by our boy Ryan Hansen, the third member of the writing staff, if you will. I believe I can fly. NASCAR and Big Brother Bear. It's a bear necessity.
It's Big Brother Bear.
Big Brother Bear is really good. I like that a lot. The votes are spilling in here. Joey giving us number 3. Lisa and Chase Cunningham giving us number 3. Gigi going number 2. Ma Jordan number 3. Biz going number 2. Number 2. This is hotly contested. It's not a runaway. Those of you that haven't joined us often, it's usually not as hotly contested.
This is the results are pulling in.
I might actually have to break a tie. It's been a long time since I've had to break a tie.
We're at 4-3 right now.
Oh, so
headline number 3 pulling ahead.
Adrian is downstairs. She just texted me number 3. Ryan Hansen's going with number 3 as well. That might actually put this to bed.
That might be it. I'll say for a couple of stray votes, which we'll of course count. We'll give Apple opportunity for the significant delay that the internet provides us here. But in the meantime, we'll just encourage everybody to, we do this every Wednesday. This is the wrap up for the show. We kind of like to end the show with a little bit of thunder, a little bit of lightning, right? And the main part of and at least the theory behind the show is the open conversation. So we appreciate everybody participating in this little social experiment. Gaddif and Brooks getting in here. So I think, folks, we're going to
close voting at this point.
I believe we have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. We're not doing it early. Like Atlanta, we're not banning folks from drinking water on the polling sites. We just kind of give an opportunity for folks to vote, and you voted. So here we are.
We are a democracy.
We are a democracy. Headline number 3 is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. Connecticut, hello. Connecticut couple alleges the state put a camera on a bear with the intention of illegally filming their property and has filed an injunction to get the photographic evidence destroyed.
What are they doing?
Mark and Carol Browlett say the State Department of Energy and Environmental Protection put a camera on a bear. The agency frequents the couple's 117-acre forested property in Heartland. The couple's lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court in Hartford. Hello, Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut. Anyone? No?
The Whale? Hartford, the Whale?
Thank you. The Whale. Yes. Allege a violation of their Fourth Amendment rights against unreasonable search of their property. DEEP, which is the Department of Environmental, blah, 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 is responsible for monitoring the bear activity in the state and has increasingly been called in to remove animal problems. Quote, we're not asking for money. We're asking for the attorney fees. We're just asking for an injunction to make them stop. That was a New Haven attorney, John R. Williams, who's representing the Braults. And the latest salvo in a years-long dispute between Brault and the town of Heartland, which claims Brault has been illegally feeding bears.
Aha!
For an injunction filed last month, a bear bearing an identifying tag and a camera entered Brault's property earlier in May. It's a bear Williams said Mark Brault had seen before. Quote, he noticed the bear now had not just an ear tag, but a collar. And so he got his camera and zoomed in on the bear. And not only did the bear have a collar, but the collar had a camera on it. Williams said. This is an attorney in a court of law. Quote, that's a bear.
It would be
the
great if
deep-
it was on his head. If the bear had like a camera strapped to its head. Yes, that would have been amazing. But no.
That's a bear that deep knows is a frequenter of the property.
Well, yeah, because you're feeding the fucking bears. Like, it's a problem. It's a problem for the entire community that this asshole continues to feed these bears.
So what does that say to me? That says to me that they're engaging in warrantless search of the property, said this crack attorney.
No. It sounds like no.
Wait. It's like sending in a robot, I guess, with a camera on, and you can't do that without getting a warrant, Williams said. Except it's not a robot.
Yeah, it's a bear.
Living creature we call.
Which you could also say that they could also easily, I'm sure they're going to argue that it's just part of monitoring the bears in the area. Like they monitor their actions and their movements with cameras and air tags and things of that nature. That attorney is on crack.
The fact that you took up a case, hear me out, with a person who has a litigious history versus the town they live in, and you thought this was your opportunity to represent truth, justice, and the American way. Let me say this. I don't blame the Braults because they seem like just flat out crazy people.
Right, yes.
I blame his attorney for trying to prosecute a bear.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
It might not have been the greatest, most thunderous lightning round, but that was good.
We got now.
You voted on it.
We got all this idea of a bear wearing like a helmet with a camera on it. That image is enough to send us all home happy.
I want like a vest on the bear with like reflector plates, like bear cam, like, you know, just so you know he's there. Like
the bear has his own Instagram.
Yes, why not? It should. Thank you.
I'd watch the video. If they gave me a live video feed of whatever that fucking bear's doing, I could probably spend hours watching it.
We all would, and we would broadcast it here live on Topic Thunder, which is the name of the show. We appreciate you joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It is a conversation. Ben and I consider ourselves info tenders, and this is the bar in which we're sitting for the conversation. So as we kind of mosey our way through this info escape, we're happy to kind of bring us all together, and that's appreciated. So from the USS Rapapa, ladies and gentlemen, it's been time.